and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to continue working on this guitar that you might have noticed that I'm working on. And what we're going to do in this one is we're just going to remove the back of this neck's chunkiness and make it a smaller, thinner, faster neck. You know, for all the shred gods out there, this one's for you. The first thing we need to do is we need to take some measurements so that we know sort of how chunky this neck actually is. And this neck is right here at the first fret. It is 22 mil thick, and somewhere around the 12th, well actually just the 12th, we're at 23, a little bit over 23 mil. So yeah, that's unacceptable. We have to remove a bunch of it. No, that's actually not that fat, but it feels a lot fatter than I feel like it should feel. So we have to do something about that. First thing we're going to do is pop this little nut out. I have a way of doing this that I feel is very good. You've seen this in other videos. What I do is I hold these little nail hammers and I just smack it with it, and that will break the glue bond and it will help me get it out. And it only takes a couple of smacks and whacks from all sides, and then it will come out, as you can see. And yeah, there it is. That's all there is to it. Now, the way I'm going to remove most of this chunkiness is with my router. There's a lot of ways you could do this with, for example, a rasp or with a sander or something to just, you know, remove. But I'm removing more than a mil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. And it's just two boards that are perfect. And they have a center line and they're just spaced out. I've shown this 100 times before. And all I need to do is basically put my neck in here. Like so. But, wait, no. Not like that. The other way around. God damn it. Like this, obviously. And then I can just put the router on top of here and it will ride along and remove. But before we do that, I have to check the neck like this and make sure it's perfectly straight, or at least as close to straight as I can get it. Now, I can see that this needs just a little bit of tweaking. So I'm going to do that real quickly, and then we're going to jump into the routing. Okay, so the neck is in and it's straight. Now, if you look down there, you can see where the hole for the truss rod is. And you have to basically make sure that whatever you do, you don't go deeper than that. And then you also need to have some meat on the back. So I'm going to remove a couple of mils at most from the back, because you obviously don't want the truss rod to poke through. And so you have to think about, okay, the hole, the bottom of the hole or the top of the hole, seen from this angle, is where the truss rod is lying. So above that, we'll have to have a couple of mils so that we don't go into the channel, because we obviously want some of the meat of the wood, or whatever you want to call it, to be left. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, check my other video on this, because I did reshape the back of Mikey. And so I talked more about it in that video, maybe. I don't know. I hope this makes sense. This is, you know, one of those times where going slow and easy could be the better way. But anyway, don't forget to have ear protection on. So let's do this. Woo! Okay, so as you can see here now, it looks kind of crazy. But now we just need to blend this back in here. And the same thing here, just blend this in and then reshape it and make a round over and just make it look perfect. So let's do that now. Okay, so you can see the way it looks. It's, you know, maybe someone would like to have a neck like this. I don't know. I'm not one of them. But I'm gonna start off by just taking a file and just trying to blend, because we obviously don't want to do anything to the top here where the neck sits in the pocket. So we have to blend this new area in. And you might have to go back and forth between this round over when we get to it and this reshaping. So yeah, just have a little bit of patience. And I took away like 3 mil, which is a lot, but I was fairly confident that that would be okay. Yeah, you don't need to remove that much. It might seem like you do, but you have to understand that the width of the neck and the fatness of the neck will affect the way it feels. So by just removing a little bit on the back of the neck and then reshaping everything to get back a feeling of it being round, you can actually really change your neck and the way it feels. I like to use a wood carving knife and just, I hope you can see what I'm doing, and just finalize it a little bit. Everything is going to get sanded, and that's going to help with the reshaping. And it can be a little bit physically hard to hand carve a neck like this because it's maple and it's been dried for a long time. So yeah, but I feel like a knife, you can really get in there with a wood carving knife. I don't really have anything else to say. Something like that. I'm going to go over to my Japanese rasp and just do a little bit of round over. And I just move in long strokes like this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see that I'm slowly but surely getting down there. And you have to, because you want to keep the neck, have that round feeling. So it's just not about taking off this corner, but taking off the entire side. I don't know if that made any sense, but hopefully it did. And I'm aiming to get this to be similar to Mikey, actually, because I really like that neck shape that I made for that guitar. Long strokes going over the entire area like this. You can see how I start and move all the way down. And that's really gonna, like, I can already tell that this is gonna be nice. Anyone who wants to know, Mikey has a bit of a flatness on the back here, so we're gonna keep that, but we're gonna minimize it. We're almost there. I need to take off more on the sides to make it come in a little bit. But let's reshape this part right here a little bit. And just because, you know, people like to jump around in the videos, I'm obviously, which I might not do in this video, or I won't do in this video, I might as well say that immediately. But I'm obviously going to sand this. Small imperfections that you might see are going to disappear between this video and when I go to lacquer it. So like that, and then just carve it a little bit. Now I can feel the neck, and it's all ready. And mind that, you know, it's super rough, obviously, but it's already a better neck. Like, I would honestly prefer it this rough and this shape than to what it was before. This is a scraper, and yeah, if you don't know what a scraper is, you scrape with it. And I feel like you can actually really get in there, and you can work and reshape things really easily. So now that I've set a sort of base feel for the neck and roughed in the shape, I can make sure that feeling goes throughout the entire neck and I don't have any weird lumps or unevenness to it by just using the scraper. And it also helps with taking down some of the roughness. Like, this is smooth now, so basically wouldn't have to sand it. And that's because I've gone over it with the scraper. You have a burr on one side, so you feel it. It's smooth on this side, but here you can feel the burr. And I'm not talking about bill burr. Yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording right here, and I'll be back real soon. I'm just gonna finalize this a little bit, just, you know, go over it and polish it up and smooth it out and just get it to be a little bit more perfect. As you're finalizing the shape and you're moving back and forth, I realize that some of you might be very cautious to the whole idea of, you know, reshaping a neck and working on it and trying to blend what you've done to the neck with what is originally there. But just trust your own instinct and feel things and just, you know, move back and forth between moving things around and just feeling them and just carving them. And just, I promise you that if you can't feel that something is wrong, then no one else is going to feel it either. And when it comes to like guitar building, and especially neck shapes, like if you've played guitar for a couple of years, you're so sensitive to how a neck feels and how it's supposed to feel that I promise you, you know how to do this correctly. And yeah, just, you know, have the patience to do it in a controlled way, and you will be fine. You don't have to be super good at woodworking in order to reshape a neck. Like, I realize that it takes a little bit of skill, and it should maybe not be the first thing you do when it comes to woodworking, but it's definitely more doable, and it's not as like big deal as maybe someone would want to make it seem like. I think that most people can reshape a guitar neck. And also, if you take off a little bit, if you go easy, you can always come back and take off more. So, you know, you could work that way as well. And just go, you know, I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna remove a mill and blend it in. And then I'm just gonna see what happens. And then I'll come back to it after I've done all the work and redo it. And remove another mill. And yes, sure, it will take a longer time to get everything finished and done. But in the end, it's a safer route, and it's also maybe an easier way to learn. So, I don't know. Just putting it out there. Hopefully, it makes sense to one or two of you. And if it doesn't make sense to anyone, then I don't know what to tell you. It makes sense to me. A lot of the guitars I made in the beginning, I built them, I played them, I had fun with them, and then I came back to them and I redid my work. Maybe a year or so later. You know, you don't have to ever be done or finished. You know, you can just be constantly improving on everything you make. So, if you want to. And for anyone who wonders, yes, I'm using a razor blade. But that's just because I kind of enjoy the tiny little blade feeling. You see how fast and easy I can do this neck. And yeah, it's maybe not the way a blade is supposed to be used. It will get dull. But these blades, you buy a pack of 20 and then you throw them away when you're done with them. And they last a lot longer than you might think. Okay, so the neck is really, really nice now. It's not completely perfect. You can see there, maybe you can see at least, there are a little bit of marks right there and right there. But those are going to disappear as soon as I sand the guitar. I'm not going to sand the guitar in this video because there's no point. I'm going to reshape the headstock in the next video. And after that, I'm going to sand the guitar, the neck. And then we're going to clear coat it. I'm not 100% sure as of right now, but yes, we are gonna do that in the next video. But I wish there was a way for me to let you feel the neck before and let you feel it now. And you might not even be able to tell how much thinner it is. I don't know, but it feels so much thinner. And I just want to go through this with you real quickly, just because I feel like maybe I didn't explain it very well. But let's say this is your... And I know that's a very steep and over-exaggerated neck, maybe. But here's the fretboard on the bottom here. And that's the constant. You can't change that, because if you change the width of the fretboard, you run into a bunch of things. I mean, you can definitely do it. You can pull the frets, you can reshape it, and that's a video. Another topic, another video. That's... Anyway, but if I take off a little bit here, like so, and let's pretend that this, we're talking about mils now. And then I just reshape this, and I just, like, try to round this over again. You can see, hopefully, just how big of a change that does. It will do so much. I wish there was a way for me. Maybe when I have more subs, I can do, I don't know, some sort of get-together, meet-up thing or something, and I can bring a bunch of things for you to play with. And then maybe you can feel this neck, but it just feels... It feels so much better. Like, before, I could totally understand why this was a cheap, nasty, you know, guitar that was worth very little. But now, feeling this neck, and remember, I haven't sanded it, and I haven't finished it or anything, so it's gonna get even better. But right now, it just feels like... It feels like a Fender Custom Shop guitar, which, if you have one, you might be annoyed with me for saying that. But I've played a lot of guitars in all different price points, or whatever you want to call it, and I can tell you this guitar, when it's done, is gonna be amazing. But anyway, I hope you learned something, or at least got inspired. So yeah, that's the end of this video. If you're new here, press the like, the subscribe, and ring the bell for notification. Do all of those things. And if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram, especially if you're building something and you want me to take a look at pictures of your things. That could be the place to do it. We've done it before. So yeah, anyway, until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and reshape the back of the neck of a guitar that you have, and that you maybe have fallen out of love with, or that you think is a little bit chunky or something like that. And just remember taking off just a little bit, a mil or something. I know I took off like 3 mils on this one, but that's because I felt it was really, really thick. But if you have a guitar neck, just try to remove 1 mil. Just 1 mil, and then reshape it and blend out the new edge. And you're gonna get a guitar neck that is super different, feels really different. And I mean, I can't promise that you're gonna love it, but if it's a neck that you don't like, doing this you might as well do this and see if you like it. That's it. See you in the next video. Bye bye!